You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the June 29th, 2022 meeting of the LaPorte County Redevelopment Commission. You can find information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
We're going to call the LaPorte County Redevelopment Commission meeting for Wednesday, June 29th, 2022 at 4 p.m. to order. If everybody please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just want to let everybody know, if somebody's watching out there, we're having a little bit of issues with the cameras, so this is like the only angle we have, so bear with us. Roll call, Mary Jane.
Randy Novak.
Present.
Joe Core. Rich Merzinski.
present.
Terry Larson.
Present.
Scott Cooley.
Present.
Connie Grammarosa. Michael Rosenbaum.
Present.
Jan Riberty.
Present.
Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Approval of tonight's agenda.
Motion to approve as presented. Second.
Motion and second. Any other questions or additions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Public comment. Public comment is now open. Anybody from the public? Anybody from the public? Anybody from the public? Public comment is now closed. Communications, Mary Jane.
Let's find those. They're here somewhere. Here we go. Communications, auditor request for the treasurer's report. In terms of that, we'll still get our reports, but we're going to change from paper claims to automated claims. So next week I'm going to go for training with the auditor's office how to do automated claims. Harold Argus, read their claims and allowance, their invoice. Signed minutes were given to the Office of Community and Economic Development to place on the webpage. Picked up and sorted and filed the RDC mail. I received invoices from Mitch regarding USI, D&M, so on and so forth for the 421 project, as well as the USI bank statements. Printed invoices received from Barnes & Thornburg and Sender. RDC attorney re-invoice questions I had. County planner sent me Weaver invoices for July. Talked about 35 TIF invoicing with Matt and Tony. JBC, we received an email from a citizen that had questions about JBC Rail, and I forwarded that to Matt to respond to. And then just a reminder, the Rail Summit is July 12th, so this is our last meeting before that. If anybody wants to attend, so far we have 6 people committed to attend, and we have 4 more seats. So by the end of today, they would like to know if anybody else would like to go.
And it is a formal affair.
It's an affair that men have to wear a tie and a jacket, and women have to wear skirts.
In America today?
No.
In America today.
Honestly,
yeah,
they
I
have to wear a
kind
skirt?
of blew it one time when I came. It was because it's summer, right? So I wore something summery, and Elizabeth took me aside and kind of warned me that, next time I do need to wear it.
It's railroad stuff.
No. So I'm just telling you, I should say there is an attire requirement.
Wow.
There we go.
Dress code.
We received a letter from 39 North from EDA, which we'll talk about later. And then I distributed the June agenda, as always, to the media. And that is the end of your communications.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Minutes from our last meeting?
Motion to approve as presented. Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Treasurer's report?
Treasurer's report is as follows. The Kingsbury, the Industrial Park TIF balance is $22,295. The 421 allocation area number 1 TIF balance is $147,248. The 421 allocation area 2 balance is $43,363. The 39 North TIF balance is $74,250, and that is after and including today's claims.
Great, thank you. Is there a motion for the?
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Thank you. Claims tonight out of the KIDC TIF, we have Thomas and Associates, no, wait. We have MCR Partners is the first one. June Professional Services in the amount of $3,000. Thomas and Associates May Professional Services in the amount of $679.25. Friedman and Associates Legal Services invoice 10764 in the amount of $1,207.50. Are you?
I have a different number. Oh, you said invoice number, I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. Barnes and Thornburg, Legal Services, invoice 2611247 in the amount of $6,269. Sender and Associates, invoice 9160 in the amount of $207.50. Sender and Associates, Professional Services invoice in the amount, invoice 9055 in the amount of $95 for a total of $11,458.25.
Motion to approve the claims?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? And if I'm not mistaken, this should pretty much be done with Barnes and Thornburg.
Yes, that's
Done
right.
with
With us now concluding the condemnation action, that's it in terms
Those
of pending.
were, I think, April bills, if I'm
Yes.
not mistaken.
I think as we were rounding it up and at that point concluding the litigation, that's
Right.
exactly right.
Great, all right. All those
Who
in favor?
seconded that, please? Rich,
I second.
Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Next item is the US 421 1 TIF. MCR Partners, Thomas and Associates, May Professional Services in the amount of $679.25. MCR Partners, June Professional Services in the amount of $2,000. Freeman and Associates, June Legal Services in the amount of $1,500. Herald Dispatch, May Legal Notice, amount of $27.98. Sender and Associates, invoice 9160 in the amount of $207.50. Sender and Associates, invoice 9055 in the amount of $95 for a total of $4,509.73.
Motion to approve as presented.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. And just in case the public's wondering why it sounds like the same thing's on there twice, we split them up out of the different TIF districts. So we split them up equally, so we, not necessarily equally, but we take different portions out. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. 39 North, MCR Partners, in the amount of $1,000, and Sender and Associates Professional Services invoice 9160 in the amount of $207.50 for a total of $1,207.50.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. So that's the total claims tonight of $17,175.48. Next item on the agenda is the change order for D&M. And the amount of, is somebody gonna talk on this? Yeah. This is a, wait a minute, this isn't a change order, this is a payment, correct? There's two different things.
Docket, yes, you're still on the docket.
This is just a claims.
Correct.
I might have
It's a-
stated that
it's-
wrong. I
Yes,
think
it
I
is
might
the
have said
pay
it was a
request
change
because
order.
it comes out of the bond issue.
Right,
When you begin
right.
to pay your share, it will show up on your
Okay.
docket.
So the
Right
next,
now, we're paying it
then
on
the next item we have is pay application number 2 to D&M Excavating for a payment of $562,527.23 for the work that's been done up to this date, correct?
Motion.
Yeah, that's everything that was done actually
It was
for May.
April,
Yeah.
Right.
May and June.
Right, okay,
May and June.
right. Motion, was that Rich?
Yes, motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Moving on to old business, 421 I-94 TIP project update, Matt Reardon, Mitch Bishop. Consideration of tabled Deercroft agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As part of the collaborative effort with Deercroft and our ability to access the easement, we have an agreement that is kind of still going back and forth a little bit between the legal and for waste management and our legal, but I'm going to give you the highlights. Number one, this agreement would then require waste management to dispose of their leachate by utilizing the new system. Their agreement is in place with the Michigan City Sanitary District, so they would stop trucking leachate throughout the county, so that's probably a pretty good thing. The second part of that agreement is that they would write us a check for $150,000 to be utilized for part of the project cost. And so I would urge the commission to approve this subject to final review and approval by legal counsel.
Do you want to dabble on the bad things? You said these are the highlights. What are the?
The bad things are if you don't do anything, they'll keep trucking leachate everywhere
right,
and
right,
not
right.
connect to the sewer. In no way is this, this has nothing to do with their legal requirements through Indiana Department of Environmental Management or the US EPA or anything other related to the landfill, its closure, what they're supposed to do with it, and so on. This is the vehicle to allow the county to put in the storm sewer, or excuse me, the sanitary sewer, so that they don't have to truck leachate around the county.
And this document's ready for us to sign?
Yeah, well, what I'd like you to do, if you would, is simply approve the agreement in principle, subject to, because I'm going back and forth with the attorney for waste management as we're trying to fine tune it. But if we get at least the agreement in principle to the document, then we'll have a final that's ready for signature.
What's your pleasure?
Make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Is there any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? 421 utility project, John Smith, you got something? Were you done?
Not yet, sir.
Okay.
Before Mr. Smith gives us the update, a couple other items we need to get recorded. The land transaction between D&M and us for the location of the lift station. For whatever reason, it's taken pretty long. It's been pretty challenging to work with our buyer. I don't know that they've been necessarily as helpful as we would like, but we'll see to that doesn't happen in the future. And there's a couple of landowner issues outstanding that we're trying to get taken care of. But other than that, I think we've got everything all taken care of up to that point. We just got to record some documents. I know Mitch has been working pretty hard to make sure he's filling in the gaps where the consultant has been able to do it.
All right,
I have
good.
I just want to make sure the delays are not from the county side, they are from
Correct, sir.
external, okay.
Correct. We have no delays. We are working towards the project. The contractor is getting, subject to weather and a lot of different other things. They got to dewater, they got a project to do, they got to get pipe. I'll leave that stuff up to John to talk about, but we, the county, have done everything we're supposed to do. We paid everybody that's supposed to be paid. We're out of the way, we're doing anything. The only other two items, like I said, outstanding is gonna be this Deercroft agreement so that the county gets $150,000 and then Waste Management can then dispose of their leachate through the Michigan City system and pay them. And then the other payment would be from the developer for $75,000, and also to make sure that we have some easements aligned correctly with the roadway for Loves to the site.
And where, just before Mr. Smith gets up, where are we at with Loves? Where are they at?
Loves is getting, I think their plat's approved. I think they had to go back, and I don't know if, I have not checked the plan commission minutes. They increased the size of their building. So they're spending more money.
It's been approved.
Mitch?
Yeah, it's been approved by 20%. They increased it by 20%, so more square footage.
So they're moving forward,
Yes,
clearing any day.
yes.
All right.
The developer is also trying to, was that approved?
Which one's that?
The plat,
Yeah.
the fake subdivision plat?
Yeah, the fake subdivision plat, yes.
It's approved by the Plan Commission and the Commissioners both.
Yeah,
Right,
right.
so that's been approved for that and the warehouse distribution facility. So that'll be, they're looking to build another 300,000 feet. So that's a good deal and
That's a
good AD
plan.
and helps us get money back and pay the TIF off.
And the sign that's gonna go up on the corner of 421 and 300, stating this is a redevelopment commission project and sewer and water.
E&M's
It's
been
gonna
told
go
about
up
that.
anytime.
Yep, I had a discussion with D&M, and he said he's on it. I could follow up definitely on that.
We'll follow up with that, make sure when the sign goes out, we'll probably schedule a ribbon cutting or some kind of description, because I'm sure everybody would like to see with these pipes and such going in the ground. It's very exciting for everybody. Maybe get somebody
That
on
way
the backhoe
people,
or
that
something.
way people just understand what's going on. out there.
I think
Right.
so, it's important, honestly.
No, definitely.
Not exciting,
Thank you.
but it's real, that's real.
All right, Mr. Smith, you're up.
Good evening, John Smith, USI Consultants. There hasn't been much progress since the last month. They tried dewatering.
The hole's getting deeper.
Yeah. Fish should be living in it here pretty soon, but
Yeah.
they tried dewatering, added another well after that failed, and then they ordered sheeting. And when they drove the sheeting, drove up even more water. So they're letting the pumps run all this week. Well, they're gonna try digging again tomorrow. So fingers crossed, get the lift station in by end of the day Friday and can start the sanitary. It doesn't hurt the schedule because they're gonna have this done in June if everything went as planned. And we were gonna have to wait till the end of July for the water main to arrive. So it should stay continuous now once the lift station's in.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you. Moving on to the KIP update, Matt Reardon, Rail Summit attendance also. I think we already talked about that.
Thank you,
didn't
Mr.
we?
Chairman. Yes, we did. If anybody would like to attend the Rail Summit, it is going to be at the Chicago Union League Club on the 12th. Very informative event. All the rail people will be there. We're going to attend. There's 4 spots if anybody was interested in attending. Regarding KIP update, the documents related to the build, operate, transfer opportunity for the replacement of the bridge over Travis Ditch are pretty well completed. I'm in. I guess I would need some guidance from the commission. We have yet to receive the ready grant authorization, meaning I don't have ready grant money for the bridge. I'm hesitant to move forward to bid anything until I have, at a minimum, the grant agreement in place. So I know that I requested this board allow me some latitude, but I took that latitude. We got the specs together for the replacement of the bridge. So as soon as that's ready to be done, we'll be ready to take that. But I'm a little hesitant.
When do you think we'll hear about that?
Well, the IDC has requested some clarification on budgets from all the grant recipients that I'm going to work through. I wish I had a legitimate answer for you, but I don't. I'd say October, sadly. I'd like to, maybe, I don't know. Hopefully by next meeting, at least the paperwork to the IDC that has gone from the forum to Ernst & Young to IDC will make its way back around to us.
And,
Hopefully.
And meanwhile, what's going on with the CSX switch? Is that still sitting there? We're waiting?
Still sitting there.
So
correct.
we're gonna have a bridge built and everything else done before we get a switch in.
My guess is
that
we're
we
gonna
got
have
the
a
money
bridge.
for it.
We're gonna have a bridge done. We're gonna have a connection to CN, and CN's gonna be bringing train cars into that park from Halfwassen's property, who's already under design, as is Carroll, to make his link to the bridge and Limborg's link. Limborg purchased the easement from the Blooms guy.
Yeah.
And Ed had some questions for us. First and foremost was, if I build it, is that my property? And the answer was no. It's our rail. We would appreciate you doing it, though. That we're happy to grant him an easement, a construction easement to build the rail, and he understands.
So where are we at with the CSX switch? They're still waiting on something to happen inside the park?
Yes, correct.
Do they understand nothing's gonna happen in the park because we can't get
Clearly.
rail inside the park? You have a
100%.
switch?
100%. They do.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
I know Jim Carroll's been working on them, but
Right.
I can't make anything.
I know, I understand.
I'm trying. We're trying.
Nope, appreciate it. And then the Comcast is still coming out there, Tony?
Comcast is coming out there.
That's all in?
Yep.
It's in? Great, great. Thank you. 39 North, update, Matt Reardon.
I'd refer you to a letter inside your packet from the EDA to the president of the 39 North Conservancy District. It seems that the application made to the EDA by 39 North was not competitive enough. Now, this isn't the first application for EDA for this project, nor is it the first time that this has been discussed with the EDA, nor the state of Indiana, or the IEDC. It's been discussed thoroughly with all of them. Everybody's pretty clear on what needs to happen here. It's an extension and an increase in water power and supply to a location that lends itself to economic development. It's at the it's a state highway and a toll road. So subsequent to that, there's been discussion by the 39 North Board. They've hired a lobbying firm to work through Washington D.C. politics and to see just exactly what the criteria is and what has been awarded. I sent a communication to Mr. Winters and his boss asking to see copies of Indiana approved EDA grants. Excuse me, going back to 2018. I'm hoping to get some information back from them. Last time I asked for this information, they didn't provide it. So I went ahead and added in there that if I need to do a FOIA request, so be it. Send it to me. I want to see approved grants, what was submitted, so that we're able to understand when we make an application, so we don't make the same mistakes again, if there were mistakes.
Keep in mind that the decision was at the regional level. One of the things we did, and Matt was on the call with me with the governmental relations attorneys that 39 North has hired, is to look at what appeal rights there are to DC, because at this point the decision was strictly made at the regional level, and fortunately Matt's letter is exactly the required first step. You're supposed to exhaust all remedies locally before you go to DC, and so his letter to Mr. Winters was exactly what was needed. We've also got Barnes and Thornburg's governmental relations folks looking at what other options may be there beside EDA. There's a considerable amount of state infrastructure money that's come in. The folks on the call also talked about, obviously, the Indiana Economic Development Corp. So there is certainly no pulling back, and particularly considering the amount of time that Mary Jane and Matt put into this, it was a significant amount of time to pull this EDA application together. As you all know, it had great support by elected officials such as Congresswoman Walorski, and I compliment Rich for helping to reach out to, I think Senator Young's office as well weighed in. So it is far from over. And one of the things that I pointed out to not only the board, but would point out to this body is that even when we started 39 North Conservancy District back in the mid-90s, we were told it was no-go, you're not going to get the water grant. We had to go back, get reconsideration. Ultimately, the Indiana Development Finance Authority, on a 4-3 vote, approved the $1.5 million in water grants that allowed the district to be cited. And so simply the initial decision isn't the final word, oftentimes. And another good example was the original decision that came down from IEDC. As you all recall, when we sought the $1 million grant for rail connectivity at Kingsbury Industrial Park, staff at IEDC originally said no. We had to go to Jim Schellinger, who was then the chairman of IEDC, who overrode his staff, ultimately granted the $1 million grant to allow full rail connectivity at the park. So it's the first step, and we're going to continue to pursue options, and we'll keep the board fully informed. But I would say again, too, the 39 North Board has appreciated the support of Redevelopment Commission in the whole grant process. I mean, that has been helpful throughout. This was a monumental effort that Mary Jane, Matt, and others did to pull this thing together. And so we want good, full, fair consideration of this application, and simply having the word back from the regional isn't the final word.
No, appreciate it. Next item, 35 I-94 TIF. Matt Reardon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's come to our attention that there's going to be some wetland mitigation needed on the site. The wetlands identified there are larger than 1 acre. Therefore, the landowner must file the appropriate paperwork to do so. I have a proposal to do wetland mitigation off-site. I have that contract. It is by a very reputable environmental natural service firm, and They're gonna work out a plan to get those guys on site, to get those mitigated. There'll be a cost to do, to cure off-site, and buy wetlands somewhere else, and in whatever ratio is necessary to allow the project to continue. The owner of the property and the project's been made aware of it. I'm gonna loop back with Michigan City Water and let them know what our timeline is relative to this. The mitigation offsite is a much faster process than onsite, and literally you're buying acreage somewhere else. So you buy whatever the ratio is, 2 acres here, and you get to fill in this. The frustrating part about this is the situation that created the wetlands was done by the state of Indiana, and although information and paperwork was provided to that end, they said no. And while we've already taken that up the good old chain of command, I think where we're at with that is we're going to need to do some off-site mitigation. Not a deal breaker, not anything of the sort, just a little bit of a challenge in the way. From the county standpoint, the county is done. You did your job, the area's approved, all the paperwork's been filed. The next aspect's going to be design, who does it, when does it start. I'm going to have a conversation with Michigan City Water about that, and then loop back with sanitary and say this is what we're doing. They've been made aware of this. We obviously copied them on the planning documents along the way, so they're aware. And then I would say let's get ready to, once the wetland situation is in hand, to move pretty quickly on the project. That's our understanding.
One of the things we did was to provide a copy of the support letter that the county council did back in January. The minutes were provided to the developer, so the developer knows that the county's all in, and so I think that'll help as well. The county, of course, made a commitment of $1.5 million back at the, I think it was your January meeting, and so the developer knows that the county is certainly fully committed to this, and as Matt says, we've got to work through these wetlands issues at this point, and it's still our hope to be able to do that because it's a great project, tremendous job creating potential, and so we'll continue kind of the efforts in that vein.
You know, the challenging thing is that it doesn't even impact the pond that's actually on the site. It has to do with these borrow pits that were dug, and there's great natural attributes to that site, of which the developer was not going to disturb as part of his project. So it's actually even more frustrating. But this is, like I said, this is not a deal breaker. This is just a going to be a cost increase to do development somewhere in the neighborhood of $250,000 is my guess. About 2 acres of wetlands elsewhere.
And then you're going to talk with Michigan City Sanitation and then about helping with the design on the project also?
Correct, sir.
And I think you and I might have talked, I think Haas and Associates actually did the design for that expansion going out to Renaissance.
Yes.
And to that corner.
So I'm kind of going back and forth with Tim Haas.
Yeah.
So we should be able to get that information. But before I forget, I need to back up a little bit on 39 North. I'm still waiting to get the title work done. I know Meridian's working on it. I think it was a little bit more than they thought it was going to be when I said, hey, here's a map and I need some title work for all these roadways. I think they're probably scratching their head about it.
Yeah.
KIP, yeah.
You said
I'm sorry,
39
30,
North.
not 39.
I'm thinking.
KIP, 2 back.
Is that an annex? Never mind.
Oh, don't even start that.
What do you, it's like,
KIP. So
Thank you.
I'm still waiting for the title work to do that.
for
Once that's done,
First road, I think, isn't it?
all of them. They own all of them.
But I thought that's the main one we were looking at.
We're just checking the title work on First Line Road.
All of them.
Okay, fine.
Right.
Great, be good to have, but I think the direction here was
The one that
Road.
we had direct question about was
First line, right. Well, I figured we'd do all the lines because, well, the developable, sellable property is further down on HUP, 5th, 4th, and 3rd. In fact, Tony and I just had a site selection visitor today about a couple hundred acres there off of 4th and 3rd.
Yeah.
So we're going to need to know.
We may want to get from the title firm some sort of a scope because I think we've got limited amounts in the account, and we may want to just do the First Line Road title work first before we do the other phases. Because I think the direction was First Line Road.
We should have a draw coming pretty soon though too. So
We should.
be getting some more money.
Yes.
Yes, I
I'll check
agree.
with them. They didn't, honestly, when I asked and talked to them about it, it didn't seem like it was gonna be some kind of crushing number. It wasn't like we'd send it's not like we're sending an engineering, survey crew out there. So, I mean, I'll be surprised if it's more than $5,000.
Okay, good.
I'd rather have all the information,
Right.
that present that to the DNR and say, when do you start with this? Your $6 billion surplus, maybe some of that. Go
Great.
there.
Thanks,
Okay,
Matt.
that's all I have. Thank
New
you.
business, consideration of D&M contract change orders, number 1, 2, and number 3. They're the last items in the, let's go with number 1.
This would be the credit for Speedway and eliminating the boards under 421.
Great.
Savings of $330,675.77.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
That was an easy one.
Everybody's jumping on it.
Oh, yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
For the change of mind.
All right, change order number 2. Here goes that 300,000.
Just a little bit on this one.
Yeah.
This was for the fence for waste management. They allowed us to move roughly 20, 25 feet from where it was at. This way the water main would be accessible if there was ever an issue without going on their property
Yep.
inside the gate.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Next item's number 3.
Yeah, we discussed about this one last meeting and it was tabled about redoing 950 since it's very thin with just only chip seal out there. And when they start doing the water main, I mean, there won't be anything left.
So we're gonna put full paving in there? I mean, it'll be a regular paved road instead
Yes.
of just a chip and seal?
Yeah, there'd be 6 inches of crushed concrete, which was a cost savings instead of bringing in 53s, since D&M has that right down the road. And then 2.5 inches of intermediate and 1.5 inches of surface.
So to bring the road up to specs, so to
Yes.
speak.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any questions, suggestions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Thank you.
And then we discussed another change order for the hookups, but we were going by we went around and asking the homeowners who all wanted to hook up
Yeah.
instead of doing the full amount of, what was it, 26? And we're at like 10 right now, and there's 3 people that have not responded.
Any people want to hook up?
Yes. And it was 4,600 per, because we were gonna put taps in, run to the right of way, which for each one, which if nobody ever hooked up, then it'd be a waste of money.
So right now we just have 10 of those?
Yes.
So 10 at 4,600 apiece?
Yeah.
But you'll come back to us when you get a final number?
Yeah, yeah. So we're going through all that right now.
It was originally, what, 125, I think?
Yeah.
All right,
For all 26.
all right. Sounds good.
And Ryan just let me know that he picked up the sign today and we'll install that soon.
Sounds great. Thank you. Any other business? Hearing none, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.